So we gather together on this Ash Wednesday to reflect on our Bible readings. They challenge us as we begin this season of Lent. A reading from Isaiah. We hear God's words to God's people, those who are wanting to fast and pray, wanting to do the right thing. Yet God says to them, "You serve your own interest on your fast day. Such fasting will not make your voice heard on high." Challenge for us to think about why we fast. What are we giving up? And why are we giving it up? Will it benefit us? Or will it benefit others? Isaiah goes on to talk about the kind of fast that God chooses. How would God want us to keep this Lent? To loose the bonds of injustice. What in our society, in our everyday lives, is unjust? What are the actions that we can take that might loose those bonds? Let the oppressed go free. It feels like that's a challenge. Surely world leaders might be able to do this, but us, in our ordinary or everyday lives? But how much time do we think about those in our world who are oppressed, and oppressed by what? We can pray, and we can notice those everyday moments where we might just be able to make a difference. Share your bread with the hungry. We have become really aware over this last 18 months. We've seen photographs of unacceptable food parcels. We've heard stories of food banks where the need has just increased. We know this is something that concerns us right now. Bring the homeless poor into your house. Difficult, if not impossible, for most of us to take literally. But as we've become aware of our homes in different ways in this last 18 months, how many times have those who are homeless entered our thoughts and prayers? In Isaiah, God says, if you offer your food to the hungry and satisfy the needs of the afflicted, then your light shall rise in the darkness, and your gloom be like the noonday. This is the focus for our Lent. This is the focus for our everyday discipleship. How do we bring light? Our prayer that through us, Jesus, light of the world, will shine in our darkness. Ash Wednesday reminds us of our fragility. We draw to mind the fact that we as human beings are fragile. We are mortal. We are afraid. But it is not an evening, not a day of sadness, or hopelessness. For we trust, pray, and hope. We're going to see a reflection now. You'll hear the words of a well-known hymn, "Let all mortal flesh keep silence," to give us that space to acknowledge our own fragility, our own mortality, the times when we are afraid, but to recognize the light of Christ, God's presence with us, that draws us to trust, pray, and hope. We are fragile, yet we trust. We are mortal, yet we pray. We are afraid, yet we hope. This Ash Wednesday and throughout Lent, Christ, lighten our darkness, we pray.